If you want to see some cool things that artists are publishing to augmented reality, then stay tuned. If you're just now dipping your toes into the augmented reality space, then this channel would probably be a good resource for you. I recommend sticking around after this video to watch a few others. You came for some cool stuff in augmented reality, and I won't disappoint. This is volume 3 of 13 experiences in Over, the augmented reality app. If you need instructions on how to download the app so that you can view these experiences at home, I recommend this video here. Take a look around the world of Cooper guitar. It's like a gallery of music videos. First, we had the pleasure of meeting up in Twitter Spaces, and then headed out to bear witness to his creation. I've got a whole mess of people in there. Over is early enough that I don't run into people very often, not more than 1 or 2 organically. Some of our avatars are nude. And for that reason, I plan on making an avatar tutorial video. It won't be so much a tutorial as a documentary of me trying to figure it out. So if that sounds like fun, definitely subscribe so that you can catch it when it comes out. I haven't played a ton of video games, so maybe it's just standard that the names are hovering above the avatars, but I know that I like it. I like to know who I'm talking to, and we did get to press that little mic button and have a conversation. The avatars give me the impression that I'm actually getting to see this person because they've gone for a more realistic style of animation here rather than like Vox, for example. We didn't end up talking all that much though because the music was playing, and what a treat, what a dream to get to see a newer artist in this stage of their development. And I like the way that they developed this experience around it because there was enough entertainment to kind of keep you there and looking around, but it wasn't so busy and chaotic that it distracted from the song. It definitely felt like a frame for the song itself. It's a music video within an AR video, and then you could put this in a music video and then, you know, go forever. I dare you. He did the smart thing of indicating where the link is located and then directing us to where you can buy his music as NFTs. Comment if you've never seen a music video inside of augmented reality before. Next up is the Pizza Dancer. Everybody loves pizza. What I thought was cool about this one, incorporation of the cups into the Pizza Dancer. It is a model that I would never have been able to dream up myself. I think it adds a new character into your existing surrounding, which I think is a fun application of augmented reality. There's a lot of open space in here, so if you wanted to add this character to a party that you're at, that would be a fun use case. They've got their contact information up here, which ends up being missing from a lot of different experiences that I review, so I'm glad they didn't skip on that. Sometimes you just want a pizza dancer. Look at this amazing fairy garden. Look at how interesting the textures are that are being used here. It's this mossy, see-through mesh, the subtle glow. There's this cool orb up here. It's an illustration of somebody's fantasy land. I spent a lot of time here because it was very nice. It's providing the use of being able to walk into a painting. The bridge in particular was very inviting. Ground is extremely tricky because it either needs to be completely flat or risks looking elevated in certain spots, but they were able to create a lot of texture here without having to compromise the illusion that is something that I myself has really struggled to do when creating these experiences. This is another one where the music matters, and there was a link to get to it so that I could listen to it later. You want to see if I can say this word? I'm gonna try to say it. Archaeoastronomia. Archaeoastronomia sounds like archaeology and astronomy. It might actually be that. I spent a lot of time here too because there was so much information through this collection of images. It's got the word museo or museum in the name, and it definitely feels like a museum. When I was in this experience, I was reminded of the years that I really wanted to be a curator. With apps like Overland, it's not just Overland, there are lots of apps out there already and more are snowballing all the time. But they allow us to do what the curator of a museum does. It's like what GarageBand did for musicians. All of a sudden we can curate and display and design the display to a T and bring your immersive vision to life. And that's probably why I'm so entranced by this art form. The creators of this space did a good job of that. It was the kind of thing where even without having to read the details, you really felt like you learned something. And this one in particular of the people praying was really cool. It got me really sucked in, and because it's a photograph, it makes it relatively modern. And so we're looking at this ancient thing using all but futuristic technology, and then we get this photograph that's kind of centering us in the middle. It's very anachronistic and cool. If you see some weird knobs behind me, it's just my chair. I honestly don't know exactly what this is, but aren't those droplet-like strokes for the mossy grass interesting? It's like a photograph with the background pulled out that's not done very well, that's done like automatically and then blown up so close that it looks good again. I'm very intrigued with how the graphics of those plants are generated because I haven't seen anything quite like that before. This experience has the contrast of plant life and very stark architecture, and also these untitled cubes. The palette is very pleasing. The person who designed this has a firm understanding of contrasting textures and colors. I am also curious about the shaking of the boxes. How come? Why be this? Do you know how far my mouth dropped when I found this? Listen up. I'm scrolling through the recently posted experiences and I see our company name. It says Fractal Labs. I wonder, is this for me? Did they make it for me? And then I open it up and I hear a familiar artificial intelligence voice say my name. I hadn't figured out how to record sound while doing this screen recording with Over, so I ended up using my iPad to record the sound of my iPhone. So, you know, there's a workaround. I'll reveal a simpler way later.
Hello, Alexis Mercedes.
Hi, I'm Noel.
Hi, I'm Elma.
I am an artificial intelligence focused on helping seniors overcome technological barriers.
I love the Mediterranean diet and nutrition. I believe that a well-fed person is a healthy and happy person.
We are both on Noah's Ark. It is a metaverse created by Lydia.
ParritaBrava has put us in one of her over-metaverse lands so you can interact with us.
Just click on the one you want to talk to. We look forward to meeting you.
To you and all the followers of your channel Fractal Labs.
Are the graphics on this well done? Yes. Is the use of NFTs from different metaverses and application of artificial intelligence a fascinating medley of time-based art? Also yes. I put out this video in the world last week, and just 2 days later there was a response from the artist that I most gushed about. So I had a fangirl moment for sure. I cannot wait to see what else ParritaBrava continues to do. And obviously I have to learn more about Noah's Ark. What do y'all think? I went back and forth on my opinion of this one. What I enjoyed most about it was not knowing what was going to be around the corner. It had a rolling number of surprises, like, oh, what's that over there? What's that over there? And I had to reach up really high with my phone using the camera in order to see what the name of this house was, which was cool. But also at the same time, I'm like, why did I have to do that? You know, like if I wasn't recording this and being able to review it later, would I with AR want to like stretch something out on like the tippity end of my gimbal on my tiptoes? This map of the globe is pretty cool. I would like it more if the scale made it a little less hard to find each of the things, and if there was more consistency in style of the images across the board. But you know, they didn't make this to impress me. Anyone making anything for Overland is amazing, absolute kudos, and there's no rubric. I share these types of thoughts for the people who are interested in learning more and pushing themselves to create cooler augmented reality designs in any platform, and specifically in this one. Just because an AR experience doesn't work super well here in Over, that doesn't mean it's not going to work well in another AR app. Like there's multiple things out there. So yeah. I am not of the belief that people need to make it in any certain way. Is it Kame House? Kame House? I came to the house. I Kame House. Ooh, look at this. Looking down that tube, I think, is the coolest. Something of note for sure is that this experience definitely made me feel some type of way. It was an emotional piece, and I don't know the background of what they're trying to express here, but it definitely expresses something. I get that I'm in a well-curated museum, feeling love for immersive experiences like this one. It leaves me very curious about the creator. I mean, sexy Medusa, brooding artist photographer? Is that who you are? On the topic of experiences not needing to be any specific thing, here is the most basic experience I have bumped into. These flowers I know are provided by Overland. So all you have to do is drag and drop these, and they've made the creative choice of putting them in a cluster rather than spread out. And that's an artistic choice. That is creating something. This is a bouquet that wouldn't exist if they hadn't made it, and they published it to a whole bunch of things. That makes it a valid contribution to augmented reality, because any addition at the moment is a welcome addition. I'm so happy that people are using this, and I encourage you to at least make something like this. The Bouquet Challenge. There are applications beyond anything I can imagine, and definitely beyond what I personally am looking for in an AR experience. Perhaps this is a demo of what can be created in AR. Something this complex yet consistent, blending it can make it more marketable. It is objectively good. The scaling is perfect. The artistic design is extremely cohesive. There are no shadows, which is better than wonky, inconsistent shadows. Whoever built this really knew what they were doing. That doesn't mean that I know what they were doing. Look at that rocking chair. That rocking chair is pretty cool. I guess that's a hospital room, but then there's these like workout spaces. It is curious and it is worth spending some time in. This is our first proper gallery of the week. Look at these. This is quite an impressive display of NFTs. This person has put a prolific amount of work into the world, or has collected a prolific amount of work. The way that they've grouped like types and the way they put these avatars on these stands that look like they're made out of cardboard is super cool. The pricing is very reasonable. What's funky to me is that the images do look a bit pixelated. That might be a way to conserve data, but other items I've seen have come out crisper and clearer than these images look when they're close up. So I'm not sure the cause of that. It's a way to display your art that could only be done in augmented reality. You never have to send someone a website portfolio. Again, you could put it here. And then it brings a highly designed, completely adaptable gallery that one can walk through and experience on their own feet. This isn't something that can be done sitting down. I like that you have to walk. Doesn't this one remind you of the campfire scene in Big Screen? Gradient style texturization and the amount of roughness seems really spot on stylistically, and the subject matter is the same, so it was fun. It felt familiar in that way. The wildest thing to me about this experience is this random bus. Like, what is this bus over here? Everything else is very cohesive, and there's this totally different stylization, and it's only like barely in the experience. It's almost buried way to the side, and it was really hard for me to actually get a good shot of it. But I did get there with determination. I know I looked silly to anyone walking by, but I had to get the shot. I needed to know what that bus was doing there, and more importantly, what was inside. It clearly had an inside. If there had been a POA, I would have earned it. I would have felt very accomplished. Something I know is challenging for spatial design or room design is getting the scale to fit your audience. When you're a 2D artist, you don't have to worry as much about how tall the viewer is. So as our 2D and even 3D artists shift into the augmented reality world, more success will come for those determined to really refine the scale to fit the desired audience. Because maybe a tall person would be able to see that bus easy, you know? Would kids AR be all too small to the ground? We're gonna wrap this up with something very strong. This was sent to me by the musician, and it was made by Crypto Nerd Baby. Lucky us, we get to see this. It was pitched as the first augmented reality music video. The concept is that you are in the music video itself. Let me walk you through my experience. First, I found this moon man, and he has these flashlights that maybe they exist to help him see, or maybe They are the projectors that create this image of the earth. Without them, could he see the earth? Is there an earth? Or are they just a projection from his own mind? It has an interactive piece. When you press this button, he bounces and then floats and ends in an even more dramatic position than he was to begin with, just hovering there in space. Such a lonely man. Inside, you can see that this is also a sensitive person. All these notes on the wall, pictures of loved ones, and this recurring theme, I am here. I mean, sorry to get deep on y'all. It's not my fault. It was a deep experience. I did finally figure out how to record the sound, and I actually spent quite a bit of time trying to convince my phone that when it records the screen of over, it should record the audio of over. And after many fights and error messages, I decided to use the feature that over offers. There's a button back here. It will capture both the screen recording and the sound. So if you did want to snatch some noise, you can. With this art and all others, still be respectful of intellectual property and always give credit in a referential way. That is not only the law, it's also just the most respectful. Never will I ever post a video that replaces the experience. These are always references to the experience. Watching this video will not deliver the experience to you. It is an invitation to check it out yourself. Also, let's pop in a comparison of my screen recording using the app built into my iPhone versus the screen recording created by the Over app, just to confirm whether or not the quality would be the same. I don't have a reason to believe that it wouldn't, but I also don't want to just assume that it would. My neighbors are having fun. What I'm still wondering is, how is IP going to be dealt with? Because with user-generated content, we do see a lot of people getting away with copying images that don't belong to them. But since they're not making any direct money off of it, it's kind of just not dealt with. So how are images of, say, Baby Groot or Dragon Ball Z going to be handled? I think that the source of these models are something like Sketchfab, and I don't know if the creators that are uploading to Sketchfab have permission to make models that are such close duplicates to the characters that are owned by giant corporations. I'm sure they're being built from scratch, but characters are intellectual property. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this shakes out. Was my avatar naked? Thanks again for watching. I'm very easy to get a hold of, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, I am here for constructive feedback. All right, that's everything. Thanks again. Bye.